We are planting my garden early this spring, and I had been in the hospital in April, and so I can't really move around that well. But so yeah, anyway, Julian, our grandson, is helping us. But I'm making these rows so that the width of them, so you can reach across to the center from each side. And so there's an aisle there, and then you reach in to the center, you can pull weeds, and you can walk around to the other side and pull weeds in that half. So then the whole thing is like that. And I think this would have worked out except for the cantaloupes and cucumbers that covered over everything. And this right here behind me is a patch of wildflowers that I planted last year. So this is the second year for them, and they're really coming out good. And I think I'm going to take some of those and move them out front. So here we are planting the garden. Here is my garden right after we got it planted this year, and I got all of the stuff what you might call intensely garden with few spaces in between, and the rows are laid out so you can reach across the width of them to pull weeds. And so what we don't have is a lot of 1.5 or 18-inch wide aisles that you have to hoe. And this one little area down here in the corner is some wildflowers I planted there last year. And some sunflowers planted themselves in there. I don't think they were in the wildflowers, but they kind of took over the whole bed. And the other thing that I shouldn't have planted here was cucumbers, not bush cucumbers, and cantaloupes. So those are the two biggest mistakes I made in this garden. And when we see the garden as it is now in the middle of August, you'll see exactly what I mean. So here is the garden right in the middle of August, and you can see how the cantaloupes and cucumbers just took over everything. And the beans I planted back there on that pole, there's a lot of blooms, but no beans. And then right in here, where those wildflowers were, have just been taken over with, I'm thinking they're probably cantaloupes or cucumbers, and I don't know which one. But in the spring, I'm going to dig up a lot of these wildflowers and put them in the flower bed out front. But you can see how the sunflower, which I don't think that was in the package of wildflowers because it wasn't there last year, but it just kind of took over everything along with the cantaloupes and cucumbers. And I think that's probably cantaloupes, not cucumbers. But we can go out and pick out tomatoes and cucumbers whenever we want. Those are really pretty zinnias right there. For some reason, though, I didn't plant any green peppers. I don't know how, I just forgot to do that. But yeah, and here's the beans. There's lots of blooms, but no beans. So I don't know how the cantaloupes and cucumbers took over everything. Next year, if I plant cucumbers, I think they're going to be bush cucumbers, and I might just skip planting the cantaloupes and go buy them. So the only good thing here is you didn't have to pull a lot of weeds, but there was still weeds in there, and it did keep us supplied with tomatoes and cucumbers and things. But I definitely am not going to plant any more vining cucumbers or cantaloupes, because in this small space there is just not room for that. I think the intensive gardening would have been okay, because you can reach in there to get the weeds out, because the rows are so, they're not wide enough. It's only wide enough that I can reach from halfway into the middle of the row from each aisle. But the cantaloupes just filled up all the aisles, so you can't even see where they were, and covered over everything else. So I'm saying the biggest mistake was the cantaloupes. If you like this video, it would really help me out if you could subscribe to my channel, and I would really appreciate it. So thanks a lot, and goodbye, and I will talk to you next time.